I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
The folks at Disney have been on a roll lately, remaking some of their classic animated movies in live action, and their streak looks like it'll continue this weekend with the remake of their 1977 half-animated, half-live-action classic, Pete's Dragon. It just goes to show how enormously popular dragons have been in the history of fantasy and adventure, whether they're protecting treasure from Bilbo Baggins or being ridden by Daenerys Targaryen. But dragons don't always make for a great story, as evidenced by the 2006 cinematic flop we like to call Eragon. At the mere age of 19, a man named Christopher Paolini self-published Eragon, a high-flying tale of sword and sorcery that filled the gap for young readers eagerly awaiting the next Harry Potter book. And much like Harry Potter, Eragon's runaway success caught Hollywood's attention, with 20th Century Fox set to adapt the book to film, with its sequels following soon afterward. But while the Harry Potter films were praised by critics and broke box office records, Eragon fumbled right out of the gate with horrible reviews and disappointing box office, which immediately killed any hopes of a franchise. But amidst all these failed franchises based on young adult fantasy books, maybe Eragon didn't deserve to die so quickly. Oh, who am I kidding? I've already seen this movie with the RiffTrax commentary. I know exactly what I'm in for here. Hell, I'm more impressed by this dragon balloon animal from a Geico commercial than I am in this movie. Seriously though, that balloon animal is fucking awesome. So our tale begins in the land of Alagasia, where the land was once ruled by warriors who rode dragons and protected the land, until they and the dragons were betrayed and killed by their fellow dragon rider Galbatorix, who, judging by his name, is a rejected Power Rangers villain, but is actually an evil king played by John Malkovich, with an even more evil assistant played by Robert Carlyle. One day the king gets his beloved blue stone stolen by Princess Sweaty McTightbodice, who teleports the stone away into the hands of a simple farm boy named Eragon. But Eragon soon discovers this stone is no stone, but actually an egg which contains... No, it actually contains a baby dragon, which quickly grows into an adult dragon by the name of Saphira, who talks to her owner telepathically with the voice of Rachel Weisz.
You can hear my thoughts.
I have waited 1,000 years to hear your thoughts.
Galbatorix sends his army of scarecrows from Batman Begins to retrieve the dragon, and end up killing Eragon's beloved uncle instead. Now Eragon must accept his fate as the new generation of dragon riders who must save the princess and defeat the evil armies of Galbatorix, while being mentored by a former dragon rider named Brom, played by Jeremy Irons.
And who might this be?
This is Brom. He knows about dragons.
That is to say, he knows the thing about Dungeons and Dragons, which means he knows how to phone in a performance in a shitty fantasy movie. And that's what Eragon is, a shitty fantasy movie. But what sets it above other shitty fantasy movies is how blatantly it steals from other fantasy series. Eragon has a scar that hurts him every time he senses danger, like Harry Potter. There's an evil king with a scummy assistant and an army of evil creatures brought up from the ground, like Lord of the Rings. The hero is an orphaned farm boy raised by his uncle and mentored by a disgraced wise master after the uncle dies. It's fucking Star Wars! Shit, they fucking even straight up steal shots from those other movies. That's how blatant this shit is. I don't think it was Christopher Panini who wrote this book. No, I think it was Melania Trump. And other than your bland hero and generic damsel in distress, not to mention a young Garrett Hedlund looking like Jim Henson's Winter Soldier babies, you've got a cast of prestige actors who are beyond wasted in this shit. John Malkovich is in the movie for literally 5 minutes, Jeremy Irons gets killed off halfway through the movie, and Jimon Hansu comes in 3/4 of the movie just to swing around a sword and wear a stupid wig.
Which one of you is the writer?
I am. My name is Eragon.
Who?
Oh, and of course there's Robert Carlyle, who for some reason before the big final battle suddenly has some black shit around his mouth. He looks like he's been eating Mrs. Trunchbull's chocolate cake from Matilda. But unlike a lot of failed fantasy movies, Eragon is at least a quick sit that moves along at a fast pace. And I won't lie, it's got some corny entertainment value about it with plenty to make fun of. It reminds me of one of the many sword and sorcery flicks someone like Roger Corman would pump out in the 80s over a weekend for a budget of $5. The only difference here is that the budget is significantly bigger, though the CGI looks so rubbery at times that you can't tell. Plus, you can't help but get a laugh out of dignified actors like Malkovich and Jeremy Irons saying made-up fantasy words.
Varden. Trayvon. Geweister.
Urgles.
What? What was the name of the monsters again in this movie?
Urgles.
Come on now, movie. How can I take you seriously when the name of your monsters remind me of the nerdy kid from Family Matters? On the whole, though, Eragon is pretty goddamn generic, and light years away from being the next Harry Potter-sized franchise its creators wanted it to be. Now granted, I watched the theatrical version of this movie and not the extended edition, but I don't give a flying fuck. Unless that extended edition has one of those dragons being ridden by Emilia Clarke showing off her titties, then no fucking sale. You may not be able to breathe out fire like a dragon, but you can belch up booze like a drunk after flying into the awfully good drinking game. Take a shot or drink every time Eragon casts another spell.
Please. Hail.
Skullblackus Ven? That's not a goddamn magic spell. That's the name of a heavy metal musician from Finland. Eragon and his dragon communicate telepathically.
Do as he says, but be careful.
You be careful.
And as silly as this telepathic dragon shit looks, you should have heard who they got originally to do the dragon's voice.
I know you can read my thoughts, boy. Meow 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 meow.
You spot Eragon smiling like a moron.
I like turtles.
And take a double shot when Jeremy Irons kicks the bucket.
Go without me. I don't deserve you, Alfred.
No, sir, you don't.
And on the nudie watch, the best this PG movie can offer is this princess panting and sweating on a table. And hey, the dragon in this movie isn't wearing any clothes, and she's voiced by Rachel Weisz, so technically this Eragon kid is riding a nude Rachel Weisz through the air. Nice! On the enjoyableness continuum scale from Boulder Bruce, Eragon is less Game of Thrones and more Reign of Fire, and casts a spell of 5 out of 10. The dragon's fire may burn hot, but this movie sure does not. I'm Jesse Shea for JoBlo.com, and if this Christopher Pastrami kid could get a shitty book he wrote in high school turned into a major motion picture, well then so can I.
The adventures of Jessica Shadicus, who slayed all the dragons and banged all the women.
Coming soon to a theater near you, baby.
JoBlo, he sure likes to drink a lot. JoBlo